And everybody else, we're going to let's start laying down. So get yourself really comfortable lying down on your back, and with the feet out, legs nice and straight, and arms by the side of your body, palms facing up. We're going to start really gently today. Good. Okay, so we're going to start with some breathing through the belly. So I want you to just really focus on your breathing of the belly. Usually I invite you to hold your hands on your belly and that helps you to engage, but I want you to just try it with the hands down by the side of the body first of all, and then we'll move our hands onto our tummy in a moment. So just take some deep breaths in here, feeling the belly rise. Just notice how that feels in the body. If there's any discomfort, any sort of anxiety there, any sensations at all, just notice that. And breathing out through the belly as well. So just feeling the belly completely contract down, feeling nice and relaxed. We're going to do that a few times. Just to ease into the practice, relax our body, relax our mind, preparing ourselves physically and mentally for the practice today. Just notice what your mind is doing, whether it feels present, and if it doesn't, just guide it back to this moment with some compassion. Okay, a couple more breaths here. Great. Okay, so now I invite you to take your hands onto your tummy. And we're going to practice that again. So I want you to just notice the difference with the connection of your sense of touch to your body, onto your belly. And just see if there's any difference, whether you notice any easy, or you notice it a little bit easier to stay present and connected to that breath and awareness of our breath when we're connected physically in the area that we're hoping to breathe. So in through the nose, feeling the belly rise. And out through the nose, feeling the belly contract. Just really slow, mindful, deep breaths. Good. So I invite you now to gently roll onto one side. Take your time to get there. And then when you're there, just take a moment, another couple of breaths. And when you're ready, finding a comfortable seated position, getting yourself up to an upright position. Good. Okay, so we're going to just close our eyes here. Like I said, we're going to begin this practice really slow and mindfully today. We're not going to rush into getting through the physical part. We're just going to really take some time to be, take some time to check in. Yoga is important for that. It's not just a physical practice, it's a mental practice, emotional practice. So sitting on in your comfortable seat, I want you to just take some awareness to the grounding underneath you. So just noticing the points of the body connected to the ground, maybe the sitting bones, maybe the sides of the feet if you've crossed your legs. Anywhere that you're touching the ground, just taking your attention there. Just rising up through your spine, just feeling your spine getting taller. And imagining the crown of your head also getting taller and longer up towards the sky. Just notice your posture now. I'm going to take a few deep breaths here and introducing some sun arms. So if we take the hands by the side of the body, keeping the eyes closed if that's comfortable for you. We'll inhale, take the arms up and overhead, looking up towards the sky. Exhale, bring the hands down by the side of the body. Big breaths out through the mouth. Inhale, raise the arms. Taking the gaze up to the sky. And exhale. We can take the chin down to the chest and the arms down as well. Good, we'll do that a few more times. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, chin to chest. Big sighs out. And again, in and out. Lovely, we're going to do 2 more of those. Inhale. And exhale. 1 more. In and out. Good. Releasing the hands down, keeping the chin down by the chest. Relaxing the hands onto the knees. So we're just getting a little stretch for the back of the neck here, maybe down as far as the shoulders, between the shoulder blades. Let's take the head over to the right, right ear to right shoulder, back to center, over to the left, back to center, right, back to center, left, center, and right. Good. Okay, bring it back to the center and gently bring it back up to an upright position. Okay, so we're going to start our warm up now. And I'm just going to turn my phone on mute because it did just vibrate, so I'm sorry about that. So there we go. Okay, so let's start with some little gentle spinal twists. It's even earlier than usual on a Sunday morning, so I'm guessing that most of us have been up less time. So let's take some gentle spinal twists. So twist around to the right, left hand to right knee, right hand behind. Inhale, find some lift, lifting the breastbone, and exhale, twisting, looking behind. Good. And back to center, little baby twist the other way first. Right hand to left knee, left hand behind. Inhale, find lift. And exhale, twist, looking behind. Good. Okay, back to center and little baby twist the other way. Let's just take some nice big circles with the torso now. So we're just going to bring some awareness to the spine. We're also sort of mimicking that cat-cow position. So we're pushing the chest forward as we're moving forward, and we're rounding the spine as we're moving back. Let's introduce the breath with this movement. So inhale, exhale as we're moving back. In and exhale back. Good. You can close the eyes if you want to, just allowing yourself to notice the sense of space around you, and notice the air moving around you, around the arms when you're doing this. Just again, little things like this are helpful to bring us into the present moment, into the space. Okay, lovely. We'll come back to center and let's rotate back the other way. This is just really nice for waking up the spine, the neck, the lower abdominal. Even maybe around the hip flexors, you might notice that, particularly when we're leaning back, you notice that those sort of kick in, and anywhere else you might feel that. Good, a couple more. Good, and back to center. Lovely. Okay, so we're going to, let's take the legs out straight in front. We're going to come straight into Paschimottanasana, turn to the side. So if you want to, if you've got a little cushion or something to prop you up here, no worries if not. We're going to move the little fleshy bits out of the way with some kindness and a bit of love for those. And let's just inhale, take the arms up. And then exhale, slide the hands down the body and down the legs so that we come into a little forward fold. Now I'm going to bend my knees because my hamstrings feel particularly tight. And if yours do too, feel free to have a little bend. But we do want to still feel that sensation on the back of the hamstrings. Keeping the spine nice and upright. We don't want to be seeing anybody rounding. So if that means bending the knees, then feel free to bend them. I'm going to hold it here for about 3 to 5 breaths. So inhaling, finding that length, and then exhaling, folding forward a little bit more. Inhaling, finding length. Exhale, fold a little bit more. You might hold on to the ankles or around the shins or even the back of the feet if you can reach. We're going to take one more breath. And exhale, fold. Very, very stiff. Just enjoy waking up the body nice and slow. Good. Okay. Coming back up, bringing the spine nice and straight. We're going to bring the feet into butterfly pose. Bringing the soles of the feet together and bringing the feet in close to the body. Roll the shoulders back. And we're going to sit up really nice and tall. And we're just going to have a gentle little bounce of the knees up and down, up and down. Just to wake up around the hips, the inner thighs, hip flexors. Good. Okay, so we're going to cross the legs and we're going to use a little bit of momentum to push us forward into a tabletop and then uncross the legs. Easier said than done. If not, find your way to tabletop. Okay, let's come to some cat-cows now. So the wrists underneath the shoulders, the index fingers pointing forwards, we're spreading the fingers nice and wide. Let's drop the belly, point the tailbone up to the sky and look up. Feeling that stretch along the tummy, and then exhale, rounding the spine, bringing the chin into the chest, tucking the tailbone under. You can engage the glutes a little bit here if you want to. Inhale, drop in the belly, come into cow pose, and exhale to cat. Really breathing, really big sighs out of the mouth. Inhale, drop the belly, exhale to cow. We'll do one more of those. Inhale, drop the belly, looking up to the sky, and exhale, rounding the back. Good. Okay, let's come straight into mountain heart pose. So let's take the arms forward and we're going to just drop the chest down. So we want to keep the knees and the hips over the knees. So we're going to drop the chest down, sliding the body a little bit forward if you need to, and dropping the chest down, the hands down to the ground. You can release the forehead onto the ground as well. And without collapsing through the shoulders here, just engage the glutes a little bit. And you'll notice when you do that, engage the core a little bit. And when you do that, you notice the shoulders are doing a little bit more work. And that's what we want to do. We're not using this as a relaxing position. We want to stretch out the shoulders here. Okay, we're going to bring the palms together. And we're going to bend the elbows. And just bending the elbows, bringing the body, the upper body into a nice long line. So here we're getting a little stretch on the back of the triceps. If you're not feeling that so much, then maybe just take the elbows a little bit further in front and maybe just bring the head off the ground, because sometimes if we're relaxing the head, then we're taking a little bit of work out of the actual posture. Good, okay, releasing the hands. Let's walk the hands back towards the knees and curl the toes under, just having a little stretch out of the feet. Good, okay, we can bring the palms together at the heart. Let's just take a couple of breaths here. Just noticing how we feel. Okay, lovely. Let's gently release the feet. Good. Okay, I'm going to turn to the side so you can see here. We're going to take a nice little side stretch. So let's take the right hand down by the side of the body. The left arm is going to come over. We want to keep the hips where they are. We don't want to be leaning over to the side at all. So we want the stretch to be entirely in the side of the left side body. And if you want to, you can take the gaze up to the sky if that's not uncomfortable on the neck. And really try and push that finger up to the sky. And we can just play around with this a little bit. If we release the arm a little bit, soften through the arm, and then stretch that arm up nice and high, and you'll notice that stretch gets a lot more intense on the whole left side of the body. Let's just release for a second, just bring a little bend to the elbow, and then straighten. Good. Okay, lovely. We're going to come back to an upright position, and we'll do the same on the other side. And you might really notice a difference from one side to the other with that. It's a nice strong stretch. So left hand down by the side of us, right arm comes over, looking up to the sky. And again, we're just going to play around with that bend of the right arm. So bend it a little bit, just notice the side body just eases off on that stretch. And then stretch that up, really stretching through the fingers. Notice that whole side body stretch, get deeper. Good, and release. We're going to do that once more. Lovely, stretching now all through the left side body, sorry, right side body now. Good, okay, and we'll gently come back up to center. Okay, lovely. Let's come now to the standing position. We're going to come into sun salutation, and then we're going to work more through some yin poses. So we're going to just really stretch through the body. I want you to just feel that we've moved through the whole of the body, and then we're going to come into more static yin poses. So come into the top of the mat, bringing the feet together, stretching out the toes, so just bringing some awareness to the feet. Good. Okay, so nice and grounded underneath. Let's bring the hands to the heart, and we're going to just take a breath in through the nose here. Big sigh out through the mouth. Good. Let's inhale, raise the arms, gently lean back. Exhale, fold it forward. Okay, so being really good in our forward fold, bending the knees. If you want to, if you can touch the hands on the ground, feel free. Good, we're going to just hold it here for a moment. Let's just really stretch out those hamstrings. And I invite you to look towards the ground rather than towards the shins, because when we look towards the shins, we start getting a rounding in the spine. So just looking between the hands. Okay, we're going to take another breath here. Lovely. Okay, let's stretch that right foot behind, reaching back as far as we can, dropping the knee down, releasing the foot. And with the left knee, we've got that directly over the ankle. And we're just going to take the hands onto the fingertips, shoulders pressed back, looking up towards the sky. We're opening out the hips here. Maybe the right quad as well, you might feel it there. Good. Okay, we're going to move to the plank. So press the hands down into the ground, curl the back toes under, and take the left foot behind, reaching it back, coming into our plank. We're going to hold it here for a count of 10, 9, really pushing through the arms, shoulders away from the ears. 8, 7, 6, drop the knees down if you need to. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop the knees down, and we're going to drop the upper body down, but leaving the bottom in the air, coming into Ashtanga Namaste, keeping the elbows in tight to the body. Good. Okay, let's move forward, sliding forward into full cobra. Good. So we've got a little bend to the elbows here as well. And we really want to feel the stretch on the whole of the front body, not anywhere on the back at all. So engage the glutes here, just allowing the glutes to relieve any pressure of the lower back. Okay, and we're just going to hold it here for a little bit longer, really open our front body. Good. Okay, let's push it back now into downward facing dog. So curling the toes under, lifting the knees and sending the hips up to the sky. Okay, so we're going to pedal out our feet and legs here. So really pushing down each foot to the ground. Really stretching out the hamstrings and the calves. Good. Continue with that. I'm just going to check on everybody, see how you're doing. Looking good. Okay, yeah, nice. Joe Hams, I would just say look slightly further back. Look maybe towards your knees if that's not, yeah, that looks a little bit better for the neck. Just, there we go, much better. Looking really nice. Perfect. Okay, so from here, we're going to take that right foot forward between the hands and drop the left knee down. Good. Okay. So let's inhale and take the arms up this time. So inhale, arms come up. If you want to, you can bring your hands into a little Kali Mudra, which is the hands interlocked, but the index fingers up straight. Still drawing the shoulders down away from the ears. And if you want to, you can take a really gentle lean back, only if that's comfortable for you. Remember, it's still early. Good. Release the hands down. Take a big breath in. And exhale, coming to our forward fold. Okay, we're going to take the hands onto the calves this time. And we're going to, again, keeping the gaze down towards the ground. We're going to take 3 breaths here. And exhale, finding a little bit extra space, finding the legs a little bit straighter. We want the weight to be in the toes here. So moving the weight towards the toes. 2 more breaths. Good. Let's inhale, take the arms up to the sky. And exhale, hands to heart. Good. Okay, we're going to do that once more on the other side. So hands to the heart again. I'm going to take a nice big breath in and out. Good. Inhale, raise the arms. A little gentle back bend if that's okay for you. And exhale, fold it forward. Hands down on the ground. If you can reach, bring a little bend to the knees if you need to. Weight again in the toes, so hold it here. 2 more breaths. Really feeling a stretch in the hamstrings here. If you're not, then straighten those legs a little bit more. Good. Okay, so we're going to take the left leg behind this time, reaching back as far as we can. Drop the knee and the foot down. And we're going to bring the fingertips up onto, the fingers up onto the tips. and looking up to the sky. Just check that right knee is over the ankle, not past it. Good. Couple breaths here. Close the eyes if that's comfortable. Upper body's really nice and tall here. We're not relaxing through the shoulders at all. We want to be pushing the hands into the ground, getting some lift between the shoulders and ears. Good. Okay, so let's move back into our plank position by planting the hands and just moving the right leg back to meet the back. Okay, holding it here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop the knees down. Lower the chest and chin, keeping the bum up. Good. Let's move forward into full cobra. Good. Okay, we're going to hold it here for a few breaths again. So really want to be stretching the front body. So when I say that, I just mean around the lower abdominals, the upper abdominals, really opening out the chest. If you find that a little bit tricky to open the chest, widen the hands off the mat even to get that space between the chest. Good. Engage the glutes. Lovely. And we're going to send it back now to downward facing dog. Good. Okay, so we're going to take a few breaths here. So just alternating between the legs, really stretching out those hamstrings and really pushing the armpits down towards the ground. You might be able to have a little bounce here as well by pushing the armpits down. Just notice the armpits wake up around the pectoral muscles. Good. Couple more breaths. Lovely. Okay, let's take the left foot forward between the hands. Drop the right knee down. And we're going to come up this time again, bringing the arms up. Inhale. Interlocking the fingers. Kali Mudra with the index fingers pointing up to the sky. And if you want to, taking a gentle lean back. Good. A little bit longer. Shoulders not bunched by the ears, drawing the shoulders down. Lovely. Take the hands down to the ground, nice big breath in. And exhale, come back to our forward fold. Hands on the calves. Really pushing the shoulders back. And we're going to stay here for 3 breaths. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Straightening those legs. Again, little prompt to take the weight into the toes. 2 more breaths. Lovely. Okay, inhale, take the arms all the way up. Gently back bend and exhale, hands to heart. Good. Okay, so we're going to come now into our yin yoga postures. So we're going to come down to the mat, and to do that, let's use our yogi squat. So hands at the heart, and we've got the feet just wider than hips. We're going to send the toes outwards, and let's just take a little bend of the knees, coming all the way down. So we're just going to squat nice and slowly all the way down, opening the knees when we get down. Lovely, really good. Okay, great, really nice. And then we're just going to hold it here for a couple of breaths, just allowing the heart rate to slow. Okay, Lovely. We're going to start our first yin yoga position, which we're going to do child's pose, Balasana. And we'll just use this moment to rest from our more yang style practice. So let's start with a nice active yin child's pose. So knees nice and wide, sending the hips back, resting the bottom down onto the heels. We'll stretch the arms out in front and releasing the head down on the ground. So the difference between yin and yang yoga is yin, we're just holding the postures for a much longer amount of time. We're relaxing the muscles while we're in the postures to allow us to work our connective tissues by strengthening and lengthening them. And this so it helps our flexibility. But yin yoga is also really stress relieving as well. We slow our practice down, slow our body down, our mind down. Some people can find yin yoga a little bit impatient, but just focus on your breathing. We're going to hold here for another minute. It's important to notice how our body feels throughout the posture. You might find that you get a little bit more comfortable, or you might notice that it becomes more challenging. And the only reason we should come out of the yin yoga posture is if we're starting to feel tingling sensations or that pins and needle feeling anywhere. Good. Just a little bit longer. Okay, lovely. So we're going to move the body forward. Now in yin we have to move really slowly. So just taking our time, moving the hands towards the body, lifting the hips up. We're going to come to Sphinx pose next. So for that we're going to be on our front into prone position. So just gently releasing the hips down, straightening the legs, because you might feel that one as a counter from on the hips from where we've done that child's pose for a longer time. Now also if you've got any oil here, I really recommend to put a little couple of drops just at the top of your mat while we're in Sphinx pose, because you'll be able to smell that. So I'm going to use a little bit of lavender. That's just a really nice way to keep the mind focused on something while we're doing a little bit of yin yoga. Okay, so for Sphinx pose, we've released the legs, so we're nice and comfortable through the lower body, and we're working through the spine here. So we've got the elbows directly underneath the shoulders. We've got the elbows shoulder width apart, and we're pressing the hands down into the ground. Good, looking good. Perfect. Okay, so we're just going to keep the neck really nice and neutral here. Now the hardest bit of that is that the shoulders start to want to relax, and then we start to get closer to the ground and we want to go to sleep. So it's really important here to keep that lift through the shoulders. So just really pushing through the elbows here. And we're just going to hold this for a couple of minutes. So like I said, this is good for our spine, improving flexibility in the spine. Close off the eyes if you haven't already, just shutting ourselves off from all those external distractions, things around you. And if you did use a little bit of oil here, just taking your time to just notice that smell, that aroma, any memories that conjures up, any emotions, feelings. Trying to keep really still. Coming out if you really do struggle, that's absolutely fine. Just coming into maybe crocodile pose with the hands stacked on top of each other, laying on our front, resting the head on the hands. Just observing any thoughts that come in, not fighting it. We're not forcing ourselves to have no thoughts. It's just about noticing those thoughts. It's quite a meditative yoga practice. And we just observe. Just a little bit longer. Good. Okay. So to release again, nice and slow, we're going to stack the hands one on top of the other in front, and we're going to come into crocodile pose just to relax the lower back. And you might notice when we come out of the pose what we've done. So it's usually in the counter of all the yin postures that we notice where we've worked. So just relaxing at the head down onto the hands. Taking a couple of breaths here. Good. Okay, so let's gently roll back onto our back. Again, taking our time. I'm going to come into one of my favorite positions in yin yoga, which is banana pose. So, laying down on our back, what we're going to do, if we start by taking the legs over to the left, so we're leaving the upper body exactly where it is, but just lifting the legs, moving those over to the left. And you might already start to feel a little stretch along the right side body. And then we take the arms up above the head. And I like to hold on to my left wrist with the right hand here. And then we're going to just leave the tummy where it is, but just moving the shoulders, shuffling the shoulders over to the left as well. So my body is literally making a little banana shape. And this is a really good stretch for all of the right side body. This is something we can't really do when we're standing up, so we get a much deeper side body stretch. So we're just going to relax here, relax all the muscles. There should be no tension felt in the yin posture. If you feel that you've probably overdone it and you need to ease off a little bit, feel free. So we'll be holding this for a minute or two. And I always encourage for yin yoga in the beginning of each posture just to take a few centering breaths. Just a few deep breaths to relax the mind, relax the body into this new position. Again, just seeing what comes up in the mind. I had a really nice metaphor for observing our thoughts, and it's like imagining that we're at a train station and the thoughts are the trains that keep coming in, and we're not getting on any of those trains, we're just watching them go past. So that's us just noticing the thoughts that come up, not getting too attached to those thoughts, just allowing them to pass. Good. Okay. So we're going to gently and slowly come out of that pose by releasing the head and hands. So gently shuffling the upper body back to the center line first, and then releasing the legs. Nice and slow in stages, no sudden movements. Okay. So now we're just going to take about 30 seconds to just relieve ourselves off that pose and counter from that before we go over to the other side. So if you want to take the hands onto the tummy just to focus on the breathing again, feel free here. Okay. Good, so let's do that on the other side now. So taking the legs over to the right, leaving the upper body exactly where it is. And then taking the arms up above the heads, holding onto the right wrist with the left hand. And then shuffling the shoulders over to the right as well. You might notice that one side feels easier than the other. And we'll hold it here for a minute or two. Again, just taking a couple of centering breaths if you need to. Just nice sort of ways to transition from posture to posture. Just a little bit longer. Okay, lovely. So we'll gently release the upper body first, and then release the hands down by the side of the body, and then bringing the legs back into a nice straight line. Okay, so we're going to come into Shavasana now. If you've got a little blanket, you might want to grab that if you've got one handy. Do you notice, particularly in yin yoga, that the body temperature really comes down? So we're just going to lay back onto the mat. Just opening the feet to about the width of the mat, allowing the feet to splay out to the sides. Taking the hands either off the mat, palms facing up, or hands onto the belly. And just really relaxing the head down into the ground, just finding a little bit extra space for the neck, so just taking the head a little bit further back. Pushing the shoulders down away from the ears and tilting the pelvis slightly up. Now just noticing anywhere you feel any areas of tightness or tension. See if you can send your breath to that area by taking our attention there. And then just taking some big, deep breaths, big sighs out through the mouth, bringing some relaxation to that spot. Slowing the mind down. Enjoying this stillness in the body. Just being exactly where you are, nowhere else to be. Okay. So we're going to gently and slowly bring some awareness back to the body. Be stretching through the arms and legs. Maybe enjoying a little yawn. Just stretching as if you've just woken up in bed, that first morning stretch. Arms above the head. We'll roll onto one side, bending the knees, using the arm as a pillow. Keeping our eyes closed. And we're going to press into the hands, bringing ourselves up to an upright position. Again, using the sense of touch to guide us there with the eyes shut. Bring the hands onto the knees, palms facing up. Good. Okay, let's bring the palms together now at the heart. And just setting an intention for the rest of our day. Whatever that looks like for you, whether that's just as simply as being present for today, enjoying something you've got planned, or letting go of anything that doesn't serve you, whatever that is for you. We'll dip the chin down onto the top of the fingertips to seal that, and then bringing the head back up. Let's take the hands over the eyes, just blocking out all the light, waking up the eyes, moving the eyes up and down, up and down, up and down, then left to right, left to right, left to right. Just remembering the room around you as it looks before you shut your eyes. And we can gently open the eyes behind the hands. Noticing the light creeping in between the fingers. Slowly taking the hands away from the face, looking at the palms. Namaste, everybody.